Hi, this is Michael Ward, and you are watching hashtag Verse TV. Comment, rate, share with everybody that you know, but most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? You already know what time it is. It's time for all the tea right here on Verse TV with your boy Troy Weeks Music. And in the building today, we have a very special guest who's here with us all week long. We got my boy Mike. Michael, talk to the people. Michael Ward, let the people just say, hey, let the people know you here.
Hey, people out there. I am Michael Ward. I'm so very excited to be here. It's my first time, so y'all made me feel welcome at home. And I'm so very excited to just let y'all into my life a little bit and spill all the tea on Verse TV.
Yes, I like that. You're a part of the family now. Once you grace the camera one time, you're in. So welcome to the Verse TV family. And so for our audience who may not know where you're from, let people know where you're from.
I am from Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. So if you ever want to know when people say Duval, it means they from Jacksonville, Florida. So we got a little Duval out here representing us right now. Born in Houston, Texas, so I also rep that as well. But I'm a Texan Floridian, as I call myself at times. But Florida boy through and through.
Y'all Floridians, y'all some else, baby. Y'all don't play. Okay? Definitely a different type of breed. I totally get it. So what do you love most about your origin story?
Oh, what do I love most about my origin story? I'm a military brat, and I think that is probably one of the things I love the most because military kids know military kids. So it gave me such an experience of like getting to travel between Texas and Florida, very long car rides and seeing the world. But just getting a different experience of like different cultures, growing up in a multicultural environment, on base housing, living between Texas and Florida. I think that was kind of like the fun part for me growing up, of like realizing that a lot of children that I went to school with had never been outside of like the base or even the state. But when I did meet kids that had that experience of being military and they knew it, it just was like we clicked, they understood it. It's a different culture being a military kid. If you're a military kid out there, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah.
I'm gonna say definitely this. I'm not a military kid, but I have friends who were. I understand that some people move around a lot, have to find new friends, and make so it definitely could be a life. But you seems like you turned out just fine. In recent previous generations, where's your family roots lie?
Say it one more time.
In recent previous generations, where are your family roots? What do your family roots lie?
Oh, this is a really great question because I just found out a lot about my family roots a couple years ago. But Texas, both of my parents are from Houston, Texas. But my father's side of the family has origins in Arkansas, Missouri, and those are the two big places, and of course Texas. And my mother's side as well has origins from Louisiana. So all in those things. So it's a lot. And then of course we have family in the Carolinas and then California and different things like that. But the South is really, 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 really where my family is from.
Got you. Awesome. In the South, Southern up, period.
Southern. My roots. My roots.
Got it. I love it. So in addition to your role, activism, actor, all around genius, right? So let's start with your acting. Yeah. In addition to your roles with Alan Sharp's African American Collective LGBTQ Theater, you have performed in how do you pronounce her name? Danja R. Is it Danja?
Danya R. Love.
Danya.
Yeah.
Danya R. Love. Yeah. 1 and 2, a play about CDC's claim that 50% of Black men who have sex with other Black men will contract HIV. Before we dig deeply into this HIV activism, give us a sip of all the tea. How long you've been acting?
Oh yeah, so I've been acting all my life, if you ask my mama. Very dramatic kid. But really, yeah, as a kid, I would have these performances. And I was obsessed with Alice in Wonderland at one time. So really acting is using your imagination, stepping in different people's roles, and there's a craft and everything that comes with it. But at the root of it is using your imagination. So as a kid, we all grow up using our imagination, especially being an 80s baby, like we went outside and we played and we had to make up games and we did all of these things.
Yes.
So it required
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
imagination. So I remember growing up in my parents' room. They had a day bed and they had like the main bed or whatever. So I would put pillows in the middle of those and I would pretend that I was Alice in Wonderland and I would jump through the pillows to like fall down the rabbit hole. So that was kind of like my first dalliance with imagination and acting. But the first time being on stage and reciting words and really acting, I was Benjamin Banneker in elementary school for Black History Month. You know, that's the only time they really let Black people on the stage back then. But I remember being Benjamin Banneker, learning about his life, getting these words and wanting to develop this character and really embody who he was. So that was kind of like my first taste of being on stage. And that was elementary school. And then luckily in Jacksonville, Florida, there was a performing arts middle school, which is really, really rare. A lot of people hear about performing arts high schools.
High school.
But yes, I begged my mother to allow me to audition for this performing arts middle school because I was like, I want to be in the drama program. I want to act. This is what I want to do. This is the place for me. So that was really where I started kind of the training of acting and the craft and taking classes and things like that growing up. So yeah, that's kind of my origin story of starting with acting from, you know, being a kid, Benjamin Banneker, really my first role of getting, and then performing arts middle school of having to audition as a child to get in.
My first big audition now.
Yes, my first big audition. We had to audition to get into the drama program. And as well, we had to audition every year afterward to get into the advanced program. So you can start out in drama, but if you didn't pass your audition to actually get into like the 7th, 8th grade advanced drama classes, then you just had to find something else. And then that was actually my first job ever in life that I got paid for was in middle school. They had us submit for WB Safe Harbor. If anybody ever remembers that show, it got canceled, I believe, after one season. But that was like my first paying job as a child actor. It was on WB Safe Harbor. I played a student. I wasn't even on the show. Scene didn't even make it. But it was a great experience of seeing how it really worked, of like the whole thing, and that this was a possibility for a little Black boy from Houston, Texas, from the country. So I was like, wow. So yeah, that is kind of the origin story of acting.
Listen here, so you like sort of like me. I've been acting since a kid. Did all the elementary school shows, middle school shows. Unfortunately, I never went to performance arts high school. That was the dream. Okay, I was a dream, but I never got to go to performing arts high school. But I was in chorus and in drama every single year, and I actually went to college for theater because theater was the one thing that, even though I love to act, it didn't come to me as naturally as the singing did. I needed to learn more. Like I needed to be able to tap into every single part of myself as an actor because singing, it's just who I am. But with the acting, you got to become something. You got to become someone or something. And so I wanted to tap into that as deep as I could. So I went to school for it. So I totally get it, and I understand where you're coming from with that. You just talented, just talented. So in this pandemic, people have, yeah, of course. Shout out to you. You out here doing it. Y'all ain't check his Instagram out. He's gonna give it to you in a minute later on at the end. Y'all gotta check his Instagram out because he's out here. In this pandemic, people have found some amazing creative ways to get stories out to the public. You are an excellent actor, and both of the aforementioned ventures of yours have been online. How do you like acting online in comparison to acting in person? Because COVID and things, a lot of things for us. How's the online versus the in-person for you? I would love to hear that because I do a lot of my stuff online now, and a lot of my shows and stuff was in person, and the COVID capped it off. So I want to hear. I'm so interested in finding out how's it for you.
I'm blessed to still be able to do what I love and act virtually, but there's pros and cons of everything in life. So I would say I miss being on stage. I miss the energy from an audience. I miss being able to give love and receive love. And as well, too, I think being on stage is a different kind of training. I'm a theater baby. I love acting on film. And I love all of those things and having the camera here in your face, but it's a different experience of being on stage and giving your all and
Absolutely.
being this person and hitting your cue and seeing the lights, seeing the audience, you know what's going to hit, what's not going to hit, hearing the laughter, you know, immediately. And as well, getting to engage with other actors. I mean, part of the thing that I love too is just watching it grow from getting the script of meeting your co-stars, developing these relationships, going through rehearsal,
Mhm.
building this family with the cast and the crew and the lights and the
Absolutely.
costumes
Yes.
and the rush, the adrenaline. I miss all of those things of running
Let's
from
like curtain
stage after
call.
your scene,
Mhm.
the curtain calls, getting to
Yeah.
meet people and seeing, you know, the reactions that you know, hopefully taking people's mind off in those 2 hours when the lights are low in the theater to you know, do something meaningful and impactful and to let them take their minds off of that. So I miss that so very much. Um, just being on stage and the energy, the electricity, the adrenaline that you get right before it hits, and then easing into it. So I miss that. But virtually, honestly, for me, it's been so much more of a great experience because acting and having a day job and having these side projects, living in Atlanta where traffic is absolutely crazy, it was really a stretch for me to try to make all of these different things, auditions and stuff like that. So doing a lot of these virtual projects has allowed me to audition from home, work from home. Um, but it's a different kind of beast because I'm acting to this, I'm acting to a camera, I'm acting to a laptop. I'm having now to almost act as if I'm on film. You know, I'm acting out,
Mhm.
but knowing that the camera is there and it's just literally this big. And being in those projects, Danye Our Loves 1 and 2, which is a phenomenal project, I never got to meet my cast members ever. So I didn't get that feeling, that energy
Gotcha.
of
Gotcha.
like experiencing their soul and talking it out and things like that. So we had a lot of virtual rehearsals and we had to gel and make a connection over FaceTime and Zoom and you know, so it was just a different animal and a different beast, but it has allowed me to to do more. You know, Alan is in DC, Alan Sharp is in DC, I'm in Atlanta, so I'm able to participate and do all of these things from my house and act everywhere. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and I'm definitely grateful to still do um, something that I love to do. But I
Being
miss
on
having
stage.
my feet on that stage. I miss it so very much. So yeah.
I mean, I totally get it. I totally understand. That's why I wanted to hear it from you. I get it. Everything you said is exactly how I feel. So let's segue into some of your amazing activism. You are a proud activist for the HIV community. Aaron Mack greatly appreciates that. Shout out to you, Aaron. um, because as someone with with multiple sclerosis diagnosis, he knows that the value in removing stigma from medical diagnosis. What gave you the bravery to step forward into this role?
Woo, I don't think we have enough time to go into everything. So I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. And also I want to just shout out to one of the loves of my life, my dear friend Dante, who has been rocking with me since I've been, you know, a teenager, who also has multiple sclerosis. So that's very dear to my heart as well too. And watching his journey with it. So yes, I definitely understand that plight as well. But for me, honestly, it's just been one of the most impactful things that I can say that I've been able to tell my story, but I can't sit up here and say that it was an easy decision to make. And I definitely appreciate the words of being brave and sharing my story with the world, but it was not an easy decision. I think there were there were lots of discussions, there were lots of talks, and I had to have a lot of conversations with myself. Um, was I ready for this? Because follow me on all the socials at Michael X Ward, michaelxward.com, Facebook, Instagram. I ain't on Snapchat like that, but I'm on there if you happen to find me. On there, bgsah.com _BGSAH.